Ever since Avengers Doomsday was announced, one question has been popping up everywhere. Who exactly are the X-Men? If you have only followed the MCU, you have probably heard names like Wolverine, Professor X, Magneto, but chances are you don't know much about them. So in this video, I'm gonna explain the biggest and most important X-Men from the comics. Who they are, what their powers are, and why they have become some of the Marvel's most beloved characters. No complicated comic book history, no confusing timelines, just everything you need to know before mutants officially arrive in the MCU. Before we talk about characters, let's answer the biggest question. Who exactly is an X-Man? Unlike heroes like Spider-Man or Fantastic Four, the X-Men weren't created by accidents or scientific experiments. They are mutants. Humans born with a special genetic mutation called the X gene. For most mutants, their powers appear during puberty, often without warning. Some develop wings, some can control the weather, some can read minds, and some can accidentally hurt the people they love. Because of their abilities, mutants are feared by much of the world. That's why X-Men stories aren't just about saving the day. They're about prejudice, acceptance, and fighting for a future where humans and mutants can live together. And it all starts with one man. Charles Xavier, better known as Professor X, is the founder of the X-Men. He's one of the most powerful telepaths in the Marvel Universe, reading minds, communicating mentally across huge distances, erasing memories, creating psychic illusions, and even controlling minds. If it involves the brain, Professor X can probably do it. Despite all that power, he doesn't want to rule the world. His dream has always been simple: humans and mutants living together peacefully. To help find mutants around the world, he created Cerebro, a machine that amplifies his psychic abilities. If the X-Men are a family, Professor X is the teacher who brought them together. Unfortunately, not everyone shares his dream. And that brings us to Magneto. If Professor X represents hope, Magneto represents survival. And as a Holocaust survivor, he believes hatred never truly disappears. In his eyes, it's only a matter of time before humanity turns against mutants. His powers let him control magnetic fields, meaning he can manipulate metal, fly, create force fields, stop bullets, and even move entire bridges and buildings. He is often called an X-Men villain, but that's an oversimplification. Sometimes he fights against the X-Men, sometimes he fights alongside them. His methods are extreme, but his goal is protecting mutant kind at any cost. If there's one X-Man almost everyone knows, it's Wolverine. His real name is James Howlett, though most people call him Logan. He's famous for his healing factor, razor-sharp claws, heightened senses, and incredible fighting skills. Here's something many newcomers don't know. Wolverine was actually born with bone claws. Later, during X-Weapon experiment, his skeleton was bonded with Adamantium, one of the most strongest metal in Marvel Universe. That's what gave him his iconic metal claws. He's lived for over 100 years, fought in countless wars, and has one of the most tragic backstories in comic book history. Now let's talk about one of the most underrated X-Men, Scott Summers, better known as Cyclops. A lot of people think he shoots lasers from his eyes. He doesn't. His eyes constantly release powerful concussive energy blasts, which is why he wears a visor made of ruby quartz to keep them under control. Cyclops is also the field leader of the X-Men. Whenever the team goes in battle, he's usually the one calling the shots. He may not have the flashiest powers, but without Cyclops, the X-Men simply wouldn't function as a team. Jean Grey has always been one of the strongest mutants on Earth. She's both a telepath and a telekinetic, meaning she can read minds and move objects with nothing but her thoughts. But the reason she's so famous is because of the Phoenix Force. The Phoenix is an ancient cosmic entity connected to life, death, and rebirth. When Jean bonds with it, she becomes unimaginably powerful. But with that power comes the risk of losing herself completely, leading to one of Marvel's most iconic storylines, the Dark Phoenix saga. If you want a separate video explaining that saga, please drop it in the comments. Storm is proof that controlling the weather is way more powerful than it sounds. Her real name is Aurora Munro, and she can summon lightning, hurricanes, tornadoes, blizzards, heavy rain, dense fog, and even influence atmospheric pressure. Over the years, she's become one of the X-Men's greatest leaders. She even served as Queen of Wakanda after marrying Black Panther for a time. Calm, compassionate, and incredibly powerful, Storm is respected across the Marvel Universe. Every superhero team needs a genius. For the X-Men, that's Beast. Dr. Hank McCoy is one of the Marvel's smartest scientists, but his mutation transforms him into a blue furry mutant with incredible strength, agility, and reflexes. What's funny is that, despite looking intimidating, he's usually the most well-spoken person in the room. Rogue has one of the most heartbreaking powers in Marvel. Whenever she touches someone, she absorbs their memories, abilities, and life force. That means even something as simple as holding someone's hand can become dangerous. For years, Rogue struggled to get close to anyone because she was terrifying of hurting them. Later in comics, she permanently absorbed Miss Marvel's power, giving her super strength, flight, and incredible durability. If Charm had a mascot, it'd probably be Gambit. Remy LeBeau is a master thief from New Orleans with the ability to charge objects with kinetic energy until they explode. His signature weapon? Playing cards. That sounds funny at first, until you realize those cards can blow holes through walls. He's also an expert with a bow staff, and one of Marvel's smoothest talkers. His relationship with Rogue remains one of the most popular romances in X-Men history. Nightcrawler is living proof that appearances can be deceiving. With blue skin, pointed ears, glowing yellow eyes, and a long tail, he looks like something straight out of a horror movie. In reality, he's one of the kindest members of X-Men. His mutant ability lets him teleport instantly by passing through another dimension. He's also an incredible acrobat, swordsman, and can cling to walls like Spider-Man. Now here's someone you should never trust at first glance. Mystique's real name is Raven Darkholme, and her mutant abilities allows her to perfectly transform into anyone she wants. Not just their face, their voice, fingerprints, and even their eyes. That makes her one of the greatest spies in the Marvel Universe. She's usually portrayed as an enemy of the X-Men, but like Magneto, she occasionally fought alongside them when their goals align. She's also deeply connected to the X-Men through her family. She's the adoptive mother of Rogue and the biological mother of Nightcrawler. Of course, we have only covered the biggest names. The X-Men have one of the largest roster in comic book history. Characters like Emma Frost, Psylocke, Angel, Colossus, Jubilee, Bishop, Cable, many others all played major roles over the years. As the MCU's mutant saga continues, there's a good chance we'll meet many of them on the big screen. And this was all the important X-Men you need to know about before Doomsday. If you want the full comic book origin of any of these characters, do let me know in the comments. And if you like stories that go deeper, subscribe and follow me on Instagram for more updates.